Okay, here is our 4.5 lesson on exponential growth and decay. These are basically just word problems after what we had done with exponential functions and models. So this first set of questions, the exponential models describe the population of each of these 4 different countries in millions of people, and this is in years after 2006. So using these models to solve exercises 1 through 6, I'll work out the odds. You can pause, take a look at the even. They're very similar, as is usual with the structure of our textbook. So for number 1, the population of Japan in 2006, I only care about that third equation. A equals 127.5 e to the 0.001 times t. So because I was given the time, t years after 2006, t is actually equal to 0. Because in 2006, that's my baseline, if you want to think of it that way, my initial. So it would end up being my y-intercept when the year is 0. So if I plug a 0 in here, A is equal to 127.5 times e to the 0.001 times 0. So by substituting that 0 into the exponent, the entire exponent will be 0. I'm actually just going to end up with e to the 0 power, which is 1. And 127.5 times 1 is just 127.5. That says million in chicken scratch. Million individuals would be the population of Japan in 2006. So you can key it into the calculator if you need to, or just thinking through and recognizing what's going to happen there. So for number 2, again, pause so you can try this one yourself first. What was the population of Iraq in 2006? Same exact thing happens. T is 0. That's my initial time, 2006. A is equal to 26.8 times e to the 0.027. And then whenever I enter a 0, I just have 26.8 million for Iraq. So different questions 3 and 4. 3 is asking the greatest growth rate, and 4 wants to know which one's decreasing. So whenever we looked at these initially, and we can see from our answers in 1 and 2, my first value here, just like when we were doing compound interest problems, these are my initial values. So my initial populations, really, circa 2006. E is constant in all of them. We are using the all-powerful E for this particular model. So really the only other value that I have to take a look at here is my exponent, which is being multiplied by the time. So if that's the amount per year that it's changing, that should make sense. So if I look for my greatest growth rate, it would just be the largest of those very small values, which would be Iraq. So the 0.027 actually indicates a growth rate of 2.7%. For number 4, which country has a decreasing population? So this isn't just the smallest one, because even a small number is going to be increasing. But if we take a look at which one stands out, Russia actually has a negative value. So negative 0.004, small, as a decimal point. So they're not decreasing by much, but that negative 0.4% would be their decreasing population. These ones, the first 4, have been pretty straightforward, just entering values in. 5 and 6 will call into some of our algebra skills instead. So when will India's population be 1,238 million? A is the country's population. So this time, I'll do my work for 5 right here. We need to take 1,238 million and set it equal to my 1,095.4 e to the 0.014 t. And this is where our solving skills come into play. I have to get that e isolated, so I have to divide both sides by 1,094.5. I'm going to hold off putting this decimal point in my calculator so that I don't have a bunch of round off error. And so I'm just going to leave 1,238 divided by 1095.4 and say that that is equal to e to the 0.014t. So now I have an exponential equation. And if I think of converting this to log form, or think of it like taking the log of both sides, it's base e, so it's actually the natural log of this fraction that we found, equal to my exponent, which is 0.014t. So in a couple of our problems, the exponent didn't have any values multiplied, added, subtracted. This particular one does. Parentheses for the whole thing. So now I can divide both sides by 0.014. So t is going to be whatever that natural log quantity is divided by 0.014. So if we take the natural log of that fraction, 1238 divided by 1095.4, and you can stop there if you want to get the decimal point instead of doing it all as one step. And then you can divide by the 0.014 and hit enter, and end up with 8.74-ish years. And so if we have 8.74 years since 2006, then since 2006, that would actually be if we call it 9 years, sorry, it would actually be in about 2015, the population would have expected to reach that value. So if you would like to fact check that, you can go back and see in 2015 what the population of India was. For number 6, it's going to be the same thing. I'm going to pause the video and write out the work, and then you can come back and check your answer. Okay, so here's all the work for number 6. It looks exactly like number 5 since we're still talking about India. It's just that we don't have the 1,238. We have the 1,416. First I divide. Then I rewrite it as a natural log, and then to get the t isolated, I have to divide again by that 0.014. This time you should get about 18.3 years, and after 2006, that would be the upcoming year of 2025, to see if their population reaches that. This, again, you could do this as all as one step on the calculator. I know I didn't before. But if you take the natural log of 1,416, and divide by the 1095.4, just make sure you close those parentheses. And then divide by 0.014, and there's my about 18.3. So again, these word problems are really similar to what we've already done with exponential functions. So I like these first 6 varying in difficulty, so either substituting something in for t, or solving for t is what 5 and 6 worked through. The other few that I liked and wanted to share are 35, 6, and 7. 35 tells us we have this formula that gives the time for the growth rate to double. So I'm assuming you've talked about half-lives and doubling rates and things in one of your science courses. So the population in New Zealand is what we're interested in number 35. So this growth model given to us, so again, the 4.1 is the initial value. We have E, that percentage is what we just dealt with in numbers 3 and 4, times T, still years since 2006. So the growth rate is, again, just taking a look at this. My 4.1 is my initial, my 0.01 or 1% would be my growth rate. So something a little different here. How long will it take to double? So instead of just entering the value that would show it doubling, it's going to work out to always be this value. And the reason, or I'm sorry, this formula that they gave us up above. And I'll show you for number 35. The reason is if I want it to double to 8.2 from the 4.1 that we were given, e to the 0.01 t. When I divide both sides by 4.1, I'm always going to end up with 2. So I end up with 2 equals e to the 0.01 t. And whenever I rewrite this as a log equation, and again, because it's an e, I'm using my natural log, I have the natural log of 2 equal to 0.01 t. So t is always going to be the natural log of 2 divided by 0.01. So my model is just t equals the natural log of 2 divided by 0.01, which if I solve that, I get that t is equal to 69 years. So this was number 35. And 36, very much the same. So Mexico's growth rate this time, and then how long does it take to double? And again, it's an even, so if you want to pause and come back, you can. 36a, the growth rate, I'm looking at my exponent of 0.012, which is the same thing. Come here, eraser. As 1.2%. For my doubling, I don't have to work through that all of the time. I need the natural log of 2 divided by, not 0.01, that was the growth rate for New Zealand. For Mexico, it is 0.012, and that extra decimal point makes that much of a difference. So K is just that growth rate. This for Mexico, because they're growing just a little bit faster, 1.2% instead of 1%, it doesn't take them as long to double. If they're growing faster, it should be happening sooner for them. So 58 years is the answer to 36B. So 37 is the last question, and this is something we haven't spent a lot of time with, but that you should recognize, the logistic growth function. This one in particular is talking about a flu outbreak and how many people become ill so many weeks after it had initially happened. So for part A, when it began, this is very much like what we did with number 1 and 2. The time would be at 0. So entering f of 0. And again, the same thing that happened. We have 100,000 divided by 1 plus 5,000 e to the -0, which is just going to be a 1. So 100,000 divided by really 5,001, 1 plus 5,000 is going to round to be 20 whole people. So we can say there were about 20 people who became ill when it first happened. And then part B is just saying by the end of the 4th week. So f of 4. So 100,000 divided by 1 plus 5,000 e to the -4. So I would recommend alpha y equals for this one to get the fancy fraction, to make it a little bit less worrisome, to make sure we're keying in the right thing. 1,080 people are sick by the end of the 4th week. And then the limiting size of the population. So this, when we were talking about asymptotes, think of where it's going to end. This is just going to be the numerator. So it sounds like it's really involved. There actually isn't any work that we need to do for this. As t gets larger and larger and larger, but it's negative t and it's in the denominator, what's going to happen? So the limiting size of the population, we're going to end up with 100,000. You could graph this to confirm. You just have to really play around with your window to make sure that you can see that entire piece. So this, again, all things 4.5 are really very similar to what we've already done with exponential models. It just depends on what we're looking to find, and whether or not we have to solve for the exponent or if we're simply just plugging in a value for the exponent to evaluate the function.